Welcome to this video series of the Python course. In this video, we will discuss about the conditional statements in Python, starting with what actually are conditional statements. Conditional statements are programming constructs that allow the execution of different code blocks based on certain conditions. They enable the program to make decisions and choose different parts of execution based on whether certain conditions are true or false. The types of conditional statements commonly used in Python are else if statements, elif statements, and else statements. These are the basic types of conditional statements used in Python, offering flexibility in decision making and control flow within programs. Starting with if statements. An if statement is used to execute a part of code only if a specified condition is true. So, the condition in the if statement will be checked first, and if it is true, the part of code written below it will be executed. Here is an example of if statement. In this example, we have assigned value 10 to variable x. So, according to the condition, if x is greater than 5, x is greater than 5 statement will be printed on the screen. Elif statements. An elif statement allows you to check multiple conditions sequentially after the initial if statement. If the condition for an if statement is false, Python checks the condition of the next elif statement and executes the block of code corresponding to the first true condition. So, in a case of elif statements, first the condition 1 of the if statement will be checked. If that is true, then this part of the code will be executed. However, if condition 1 is false, condition 2 will be checked, and if that condition is true, this part of the code will be executed. Here is an example of the elif statement. We have assigned value 10 to variable x. So first this condition will be checked, that is if x is greater than 5, then the statement x is greater than 5 will be printed. And we can see that 10 is greater than 5. So this statement will be printed on the screen. However, if we had taken any other value, say x equal 3, then this condition would have been false, and then in that case, elif statement would have been executed since since 3 would be less than 5. So on screen, x is less than 5 would have been printed. Finally, coming to else statement. An else statement is used to execute a block of code if the condition in the if or elif statements is false. So first the condition in the if statement will be checked, and if it is false, the part of code written in the else block will be executed. Here is an example of the else statement. We have assigned value 15 to variable. So first, it will be checked whether x is less than 10. We know that 15 is less than 10. No, 15 is greater than 10. So this part won't be executed, and the elif condition will be checked. As we can see that 15 is less than 10. And so on screen, x is between 15, 10 and 20 will be printed. However, if say value of x would have been 25, in that case, this condition would have been false as well. And so, the part of code written in the else statement would have been executed, and the statement x is greater than or equal to 20 would have been printed on the screen. Now we will see what are nested if-else statements. Nested if-else statements are a way to have multiple levels of conditions within each other. This means that one if or else block can be contained inside another if or else block. So in case of nested if-else statements, first condition 1 will be checked. If condition 1 would be true, then it will come to check condition 2. If condition 2 would be true as well, then this part of the code would have been executed. However, if condition 2 would have been false, then this else block would be executed. However, if condition 1 in the beginning would have been false, then this else block would have been executed. Here is an example of nested if-else state. We have assigned value 10 to variable x. So, if x is greater than 5, which is true, x is greater than 5 statement would have been printed on screen. After this, x is less than 15, this condition would have been checked, and we know that 10 is less than 15. So, x is also less than 15, this condition would have also been printed. Nested if-else statements are used when a condition depends on another condition. They allow for more complex decision-making processes. Now we will go to the Google Colab platform where we will see some practical application of what we have learned today. So now we are at the Google Colab platform and let's start with an example of if statement. So we can see that we have assigned value 10 to variable x and the condition written in the if statement will be checked that whether 10 is greater than 5 or not. So we know that 10 is greater than 5. So the statement that will be printed on screen will be x is greater than 5. Now coming to elif statement, we have taken value x equal to in variable x. So the first condition will be checked that whether x is greater than 5 or not. This condition is false. So now the condition in the elif statement will be checked that whether x is less than 5 or not. We know that 2 is less than 5. So the statement that will be printed on screen will be x is less than 5. Now coming to else statement. Here we have assigned value 25 to variable x. So the first condition that will be checked will be whether x is less than 10 or not. This condition is false. After this, the condition in the elif statement will be checked, which is also false since 25 is greater than 20. Hence, the part of code written in the else block will be executed. And on screen, x is greater than or equal to 20 will be printed. Now, finally, we will see an example of nested if-else statement. Here we have assigned value 10 to variable x. So the first condition that will be checked that whether x is greater than 5 or not, which is true. So on screen, x is greater than 5 will be printed. After this, the second condition, which is x is less than 15 will be checked. This is also true. So in this case, x is also less than 25, also less than 15 will be printed on screen. We can see that x is greater than 5 and the next statement that is printed is x is also less than 50. However, if we change its value to say 20 and now execute the code, the statements that will be printed will be x is greater than 5 and x is not less than 50. Since this condition in this case would have been false, so the part of code written below this else statement would have been executed. So this marks the end of this video, and that was all about the basic conditional statements in Python.